A few weeks ago, I took out my clarinet and began to play and get back into the practice of playing my clarinet. And with that, I also took out my flute and also got back into playing my flute because this is the summer of winds. So let's take it from the top. Unlike my clarinet, there are no pictures of me playing the flute. And there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I didn't start playing the flute until I was in college. I took class woodwinds as part of my music education degree. As part of that class, I had to learn how to play the oboe, a double reed, and the flute, because I already knew how to play clarinet and bass clarinet. Those were the two instruments that I had to focus on during that semester of class woodwinds. And when I played the flute, I absolutely loved it. I loved just the technique of playing the flute, the sound that it made. That Christmas, I asked for a flute as a gift, as a Christmas gift. And so my parents got me a flute for Christmas that year. I used the flute just to play for fun. I also played the flute at my church. So I would play flute and clarinet at church, hence the picture of my sister and I, her with my flute and me with the clarinet. I would play both those instruments during church services. I used my clarinet and flute when I taught my beginner band students. As the years went on, things get busy and I stopped playing my flute and clarinet at church, and eventually my band program was cut. And then I would only take out my flute and clarinet when I was teaching woodwinds units on woodwind for my elementary students. I got to thinking, my parents bought me this flute as a gift, and to have it just sit there and collect dust, and remembering how fun it was to play it and to learn how to play it. And I think part of what made it fun for me was that it was learning something new. I am somebody that likes to learn new things, new skills. Some might say a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. Sometimes I think that's how my life goes, but besides that, I just like learning new things. I like learning new instruments. I like playing on them. And you can check out my videos from last summer when I taught myself how to play the auto harp. And so the flute was much like that. I just figured out how to play it. I taught myself how to play it. I never took lessons on the flute. I never played the flute in an ensemble type setting. It was strictly just for fun, strictly just for pleasure. And I thought to myself, well, my parents invested in this gift for me, and the least I can do is invest some time in playing it. So that's what I did this summer. Just as I did with the clarinet, I started with long tones to try to work on my breath support, my tone, and playing in tune. And then after that, I worked on scales, working on as many scales as I could from memory, and just, again, building up that breath support and tone as I went through the octaves on the flute. At one point, I even forgot how to play a C sharp, and I had to look up the fingering for that because it's been so long since I've played my flute and played through all the scales like that. So, yeah, I will admit I forgot a fingering, but that's what the internet is for. After that, I decided to pick a piece from the Selected Duets book. Anybody who's a woodwind player has had this book. And I decided on playing this jig, working on part 1 and part 2. saw this little picture on Instagram and I thought this is exactly what music teachers struggle with. We want that first ladder, that perfect, beautiful ladder, because externally the world is watching and they're critiquing us for external validation. I must say that this performance of the Jigg is more like the second ladder. It's a little sloppy, a little messy, but I performed it with the intent of progress over perfection. And progress over perfection is what gives us our internal validation. So here it is, my performance of Jigg. I look back and I think, what if I had chosen flute over clarinet? And honestly, I'm glad I didn't. I don't think my personality necessarily matches a flute personality, if there's such a thing. I'm not a super competitive person. I feel like flute players are a little bit more competitive than us clarinet, and especially us bass clarinet players. I kind of liked being a little bit more in the background. And when you're playing flute, you're right up front, in the front of the band. That never really appealed to me. But I do like playing the flute, and it was fun to play this piece. There's a lot of critiques that can be made. Again, I am trying to just get back into the swing of things, get back into producing a good sound, working on my technique and that sort of thing. If you liked these performances, or if you have any tips for me, any critiques, just like I said in the clarinet video, if you have some critiques for me, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. Do you play woodwind instruments? Do you have a woodwind instrument or any type of instrument sitting in your basement or attic collecting dust? Maybe this is your cue to go take it out and give yourself the freedom to do something hard, to get back into the swing of something. Maybe you'll find some internal validation by doing that. I know I did. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, comment below on your thoughts. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. School begins in just a few days from me recording this. And I do music education content, music content, and like I've said before, sometimes I just talk about midlife in general, reminisce, that sort of thing. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.